Delighted to be joined by David and Currans from the Glasgow Hornets, national champs. How does that feel?
It's still, to be honest, it's still not sunk in. I think the way my head is, it's never over until it's over. Even when it's mathematically over, but the game's still going, I can't let myself relax. And it was only when that final whistle blew, I think my eyes just went, and I was on my knees just crying away like a baby. Been a long time coming. I've been playing sport 23 years, and that's us at the summit now. So it's been brilliant.
Absolutely, and you've now secured that gold medal for national championship now. But talk to us about that final. That seemed to go very, very clinically for you guys.
Yeah, everything went amazingly well. We had a couple of games today where things were a bit wishy-washy, but that game we were locked in, both offense and defense. Maka played a beautiful game. James got the MVP ball, so he was destroying on defense. Offense, everything was just lightning. Oh, yeah. It's so hard to describe.
Like we've spoken about this because we've done it a couple of times this year, where it might be the defense has stepped up or the offense has stepped up. I think we've proven this year you don't need to be the best in every game, because we've not been the best in every game and we've just went undefeated this year. But the game against Reading, who are a hell of a team, they ran us all the way. Like they had a score to tie the game, and it just shows that you just need to grind, and just it's grit and determination that wins it. And I think I want to just echo what Kay said there about James. We're walking away from a national final where QB's Costas made the most ridiculous catch I've ever seen. By the way, with the GB defensive MVP underneath him after the Worlds in Finland, he's done that. And we're talking about a blitz, who's probably the most important position on the defence because it's the one that can affect every play. He's walking away with the MVP. That's ridiculous. James played an absolute blinder for a guy that came into the sport at the tail end of last year. Just won a national championship.
Well, he managed to sack their quarterback at Cardiff Hurricanes many, many times. And it seemed to, if he didn't get the sack, he was up in his face and really affecting where that pass was going. Is that what you guys saw from the backfield?
Yeah. James has got a ridiculous wingspan, and I mean Joe Cotterill, I know Joe pretty well, having played with him a couple of times at national level, and Joe is probably the most elusive quarterback you'll face in these shores. And for James, he didn't nullify him. You can never nullify a quarterback, it's not that kind of game, but to win the plays that he was able to win for us, and we're not even talking about his bat downs either. Like
even just getting his face and force, and like there was even that play where he could have had like a really deep ball. James was in his face, and James's height, his wingspan, it was probably like trying to throw over a basketball hoop. Oh, a good 50 yards down the field. That's one of the most challenging things.
Just a game wrecker. Like you talk about DNs and contact football and nose tackles, that guy just wrecked the game. Like kind of game plan goes out the window. He's been lights out all season for us, and to do it in the national finals, just a tribute to the kind of guy that he is and the player that he is.
And it looked like, it spoke to a couple of the guys before you received the medals there, that you felt as if you executed your game plan to a high level as well, and you didn't necessarily expect the game that you got, but you took care of business, taking care of what you needed to do, right?
Yeah. Well, it was still, regardless, it was still a tough game. We executed excellently. Everything we've worked on for all these years. Every time we've gotten angry with each other, angry with the other teams, with the refs, whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's how you play it on the field, and we executed it perfectly. Just about 90% of every play we had today, in that game, was beautiful.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations on go on.
Just before we go, the junior Hornets were playing as well, and they came runners up in the plate for the kids. So I mean, massive shout out to them. I know that Thomas McDonald puts a lot of time, as do the parents, and Cameron Wilson, who's I think he scored twice in the national final there. He puts a hell of a lot of effort into the team, and it's great to see the Hornets from when I was younger playing against them. The kids were just fantastic, and they always were, and some of the kids won the national championship today as adults. And just to see the guys that are putting the time and effort back into the kids is just fantastic. So the future's bright for the Hornets as well.
I was just about to say, future's bright for the Hornets, let alone the present, right? So congratulations on an undefeated season, and obviously coming away with the national championship. David Currans, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. So now I'm joined by Rory and David of the now Division 1 national champion Swansea Hammerheads, right? So how does that feel?
Unbelievable. Like, we had the pain of last year, runners up. And I just want to say a huge thanks to BAFA anyway for having this competition today, but also to all the competition we've had, to Waveney, look at their faces, we were there last year. But the team has just been immense offensively, defensively, we've gone up a level, and that's proven into the fact we've been promoted, taking this club to the next level now, and that's what we're looking forward to is next year.
Awesome, David. And what did you see today?
Well, I've been with the club now since 2018, and so as what we said, we lost last year, we lost the year before that, so we lost to two very good teams, the Reading Devils and the London Spark, both excellent squads. And it was nice for us to beat that sort of, we were 19-0 coming in today, and we've been the team that's knocked higher seeded teams off their perch, so we knew that other teams would be looking at us from that way, so it's sort of going in with that, killer mentality and just like, we've done this all year. Let's just keep our game going, each drives its own entity, and we just really just put ourselves to work like we've done all year, and we did ourselves proud, and I'm really, really proud of the squad. We've done a huge job, and again, back in the 2018 season we lost 90-0 to a team, and now here we are, 22-0 national champions. It's an incredible feeling.
And a challenging day, right? Because the weather, we're indoors now, but the weather today was dreadful, right? And so it probably plays around with game plans and execution and stuff, but didn't slow you guys down, right? You were probably didn't score as many as other rounds in the final, but how did you feel today, considering the challenging weather conditions?
Yeah, of course you take it into account. A big part of our sort of game is when you get a wet ball, the catches. You can see that in the final. It was really tricky for both sides. It seems like both sides struggled in sort of like for different halves, for different purposes, like missing flags. Do you play with gloves? Do you play without? For us, like we always play with gloves, so when you're not wearing them, you feel a bit naked and you feel a bit exposed. So it just feels completely different. But the game plan obviously changes. We've got an awesome QB who can make all the throws that you want to make and put our receivers who get open. So we were just very lucky that everything sort of came together and on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, just to sort of add to that, you got to give Paul a lot of the plaudits there, because he's coming like, okay, gloves off, just don't even think about it, don't give it a drive to see how it is. It's just he's taking that control and he's giving it gloves off, and it helped us for the better having that sort of coach who's just like, no, we're not doing this, we're not messing about. A lot of teams don't necessarily have that outsider, because when you're in play mode, you're in play mode. But it's great to have that outside voice, and Paul's been a fantastic coach for us for the years and did an incredible job of getting us here today.
And expand on what we noticed on the sideline was that it wasn't going to plan necessarily in the first half, and it looked like you all got together on the sideline and then you came out with a bang in the second half. Is that what we saw, what you guys saw as well?
It really helped. Again, Alex Thomas, MVP of today, he sort of, the first thing he did is like, okay, everyone breathe in, hold it, breathe out, hold it, and just get yourself circulated. And it's like, okay, one person speak, Harley, you speak, Rory, you speak, anyone else got any extra words? It's just sort of like, okay, we haven't done our best so far. Let's, what have people who are, because obviously Harley can only see one thing, and I was like, okay, so we've been doing this and I can get there on that, hit me on that, and then that will bring them here. And so it's just a lot of sort of like, okay, we know that, and then he's like, okay, the blitz is going to be very quickly, so okay, how can we plan for that? It's like, okay, if we get the ball out to side snap it and then back to Harley, he's got the option to run away from the blitz rather than just having to run around the backfield for ages. That was a big help. It's just sort of just like, again, Alistair, great quarterback, but he's a bit smaller, so Jamil can get to him quicker, but might not necessarily take away the game, so that he's like, these rotations where I come into blitz then, so I can take away the game, force him to throw it up higher, where then people like Rory and Harley and Jack and Matt and everyone else can just make those plays on the ball. And it was a sort of just being like, okay, what are our strengths? What are the weaknesses of the opponent that we can sort of capitalise on? And then, we knew we were coming back with on offence. So like, if we score now, we score the extra point, it's 14-13. They're then behind. They've got to score, and if they don't score, we can go and win. So we sort of, the way we've taken everything is like, we try like, let's get the ball, we'll punch them in the mouth early, keep them behind the downs, keep them behind on the score, and make them chase the game. And that's what's worked for us all year, and then that's what we did in the second half, and that's what worked for us in the second half as well. And
it was him that came out and first snap, caught the ball and took it to a touchdown, right? So he clearly backs up what he says.
He is the ultimate vibes guy. He sets the tone. He leads by example. He's a fantastic player. Very, very lucky to have Alex Thomas.
He's normally a soccer player, but he's just an incredible athlete, and he's just got he's got a love for the game and a love for this team that is just infectious. And like, he makes that, we're being very quiet. We're not, and then again, that is huge momentum play, taking that ball and just going all the way to the house. Like, we're not going to be quiet after that. And we continued that, and I think that was a big thing. Is we were maybe too focused on it being the final and it's being our third time here, and we got to do it. Like, we're like, no, this is our final. This is, again, we've been promoted. It's our last time here. Let's enjoy it. Let's get into the game. And that really, he really sort of flipped the switch on us and kept it going. Because once he scored, our defence, like, now we can take over control of this game. We just didn't let him score in the second half, and we did a really good job.
Awesome. And so, as you just mentioned, so you're not only national champs this year, but you've got promotions into the Prem, and you went undefeated this year. Yes. So give us a little thought, both of you, towards next year. Obviously, step up in competition, but what are you expecting?
More of the same. We've set the standards, and this is what people are going to see now. They're going to see the hardest hitting defence within regulation, and an offence which is going to score on you from different angles, and we're only going to get better. We've got an incredible squad, and we can come back a bit rejuvenated. With a bit of time off now, we're actually we're doing a bit of a European tournament next week, so it's Pink Bowl for a bit of fun. It's in Amsterdam.
Yes, Den Haag, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to be playing the best that the Southwest has to offer. Yeah. I think that's all.
And for me, it's like it's got to, the big thing next year is we've got a second team, the Swansea Frenzy, who have been instrumental in helping us prepare each week, because we train as a team, we train as a club, and maybe they're not playing the Hammerheads, but they're helping us prepare every single week, and it's a massive shout out to them. People like Liam Parry, Jamie Gregory, who've done a really good job of preparing us every week for these sort of things, and it's going to be seeing if can we elevate those guys to the squad. What difference? We're going to lose a couple of players just because some of our players have moved away, as life happens, and can we elevate these players, and what difference can they make? Because they bring a different style of football, they've played a different style of football. How can they make us better going forward? And we're in a really lucky situation to have these two teams where we can play each other, and iron sharpens iron, and we can elevate them up and then give us a different edge, a different look, and maybe round out some of our weaknesses that we had this year.
Brilliant. Well, Rory, David, thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations on today.
And
good luck into next year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Take care. Cheers. So I'm joined by Alan Young, who's the head coach of the GB Men's National Programme. Thanks for joining us. Just give us your thoughts on what's happened this weekend and the GB talent that's been around this weekend.
Oh, there's so much talent on display, like across the Div 1 and the Prem level. Like the Prem level, when you look at the quality of particularly the top 4 teams yesterday, there's so much talent there. And some of it's in the setup already, some of it I'd like to see in October. Like, a lot of it's exciting. And what was great was seeing some of the under-17s yesterday, and you're like, oh, but to be fair, one, it's like, how's that kid only 17? Firstly, but secondly, you're like, I really hope they make it along to like our silver programme in October to try out. It's the sport's growing. The talent's getting higher. Players are so much more aware of like their strength and conditioning than they used to be. Like at that age, I had no idea what I was eating. Like it was, but these guys all take care of themselves. So really exciting. And today, a lot of resilience shown in that weather.
Yeah, and obviously yesterday we saw the Glasgow Hornets come away with the national championship, which we know you got close ties to, but also your starting defence was on display there as well, right?
Starting defence minus Liam, although James Lightbody did his best Liam Harper impersonation.
Absolutely.
They were phenomenal yesterday, Glasgow. I joined Glasgow 10 years ago, and I've stepped away from the top team quite a few years ago, and I focus on the second team now. But it was lovely to see them finally lived it. And the GB, like the defence, the guys are. They didn't all start as Glasgow, but they've kind of came together. Callum, Max, Maka, and Ollie, who joined this year, they're phenomenal. Mm-hmm. They are an excellent group, and they work together, and the chemistry was on display at the Worlds, led by Andrew Gibson, who also took a few snaps yesterday himself. I believe he got toasted by Costas at some one point with Cardiff, but they were phenomenal, and that teamwork shows through. And again, James isn't in the current GB squad, but he's a silver lion, and look, he shut down one of the best players in Europe yesterday, Joe Cotterill, and Joe is a phenomenal talent, who also I'd like to see back in October. So,
and you also saw some silvers here today as well, right? So
yeah.
What did you see today? And you've got to be excited for October.
It's great. It's there's a few really talented silvers. So Harley and the Swansea Hammerheads joined the silvers a year and a bit ago, and immediately put yourself on the map by catching one over Max Verlint. And everybody went, "Oh wow, look what Harley can do!" And he is phenomenal. But he's been recovering with knee issues and stuff like that. He's playing quarterback, which is weird. He won't be doing that for me. But I'd definitely like to see him. Like, he's so young and talented, and God, you can't teach height. My goodness. And there are a scattering of others. I wouldn't name too many, but there's a scattering of others from other teams, and you're like, yep, definitely want to see them. Yesterday from the Grangemouth, we've seen Dante Fornaserio and things like that. There are a load of people that definitely, with a bit of development, could do the next level. In the final, you also seen Aidan Marcelli from Waveney Wolves, who had a good game, and I know he took that loss hard, because you always do, especially when you're young. but they'll have other opportunities. Like, that's a really young squad.
100%. And what's happening with the GB programme going forward?
So GB programme going forward, we've got our open silver trials in October. They're meant to be fully open, but last year when we did open we got 130 applicants and we had to whittle it down to 60. So we're doing 2 days of 60, and the idea is that one day will be fully adult and the other day should be ideally people under 21. We're trying to split that out a little bit. So that hopefully we'll see about 120 people. We've had 70 applicants already, so it only opened on Monday, I think. So we'll review that, make sure that everybody knows what they're getting into and stuff like that, and from there we'll pick out maybe the top sort of 10, 15 of that and have it trained with the gold guys and work out what our gold squad's going to be next year, because we've lost Johnny Kerr. He has stepped away after 5 years with the programme. He made the squad for the first time in 2019. He stepped away, so there is immediately one spot open, and that gets the guys quite excited. As much as I'm going to miss Johnny, it is exciting to who's going to get a new chance. So we'll do that. We're hoping to get the Swiss over for some friendlies next year. They finished third at the World Championships this year, and we might try and see if the Austrians will come over or the French, and just try and get games and friendly games granted, but games against like proper IFAF opposition. We may send the programme under a pseudonym to the Copenhagen Bowl as well. So the Silver Lions are going to that definitely, and we're looking to potentially send what we call them the Great Barbarians. So we'll do that potentially in May next year as well. So all building to the Euros. Awesome. So that's the plan.
Brill. Well, thank you, Alan Young, for joining us, and good luck going into the autumn.
Thanks very much, Andy.
So I'm joined now by Kyle Taylor, who's the Managing Director of Catalyst Flag Football and also the Head of Flag Football in the UK here. So we've now concluded with the Swansea Hammerheads and the Glasgow Hornets of our national champions across both tiers. Give us your thoughts on the weekend and the season that's just gone by.
It's been a really interesting season. A lot of changes for Flag coming in. A lot of changes for BAFA on the whole as well. So we're still waiting to see what the conclusion of all of those processes are, etc. And we started with quite a lot of uncertainty as a result. But to come to the culmination of it all, basically this afternoon, it's been great to see two teams that basically came just shy in the last round last year, like really take that next step and get where they want to be, which is the mountaintop effectively. Year on year, our finals event gets bigger, gets more organised, etc. And the performance of the teams goes up and up and up, and it gets harder and harder and harder every year. And it's just great to see the development more than anything else.
And GB everywhere as well, right? So it's not just they're also showing that the domestic sort of game is also raising our international game, and they're all in and around here this weekend, which is really impressive to see. Not just the men's, but also the women with the way here as well. So that must be something that you're happy to see as someone who's trying to run this along, right?
Massive. At the end of the day, right? We're trying to build a sustainable pyramid for the sport. Yeah. That's bottom to top. Yeah. The top being GB. Yeah. What I think is really great, and it hasn't been necessarily historically, is this event's now been built into a proper community feel event. Yep. And so, as you say, it's great to see people who aren't even necessarily involved just coming down and being supportive and being part of the event. Yeah. That's what it's about at the end of the day. Like, Flag's a community, so it's about getting everybody together. And speaking to a lot of people, there was a very much a sort of like festival feel this weekend as well, and we had obviously a number of partners here, which was really nice to see, and they got stuck in and got involved as well. Including ourselves, I suppose, but anyone that you want to shout out for this weekend for to make it possible for this weekend? Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody that's helped us out under the Catalyst brand for the weekend, the officials more than anything else. I think people often forget to say thanks to them. At the end of the day, no official, no game. That's the long and short of it. So whilst obviously people get grumpy about calls and things like that, they're giving up their time and doing things to the best of their ability to make the games the best they can possibly be. And it makes starting with this, and originally it was just teams officiating, now to basically having almost full officiating crews, and you build year on year. It's great to see how much of a difference that makes, especially. So a massive thanks to everybody that was involved from that perspective. Yourselves, obviously, and doing all of the coverage. It's been fantastic. And probably beyond our sponsors, EP and Nuola, who very kindly donated some MVP bits and bobs and prizes for us to hang out and just being here and being part of the community weekend. I think having Hickory's come down has been fantastic for us. That was a very long build of a partnership, and it's great to see the culmination of that at this event as a trial. All things sound really positive. We want, they're big about supporting American football in general. They're an American company, basically. Yeah. Well, branded company, I should say. Yeah. And they want to make partnerships with people who are part of American sports. They don't want to focus their time on, which is great. And so to have somebody like that that's actually invested come and be part of it and be such a big part of it, it's been fantastic.
Brilliant. And there's obviously some uncertainty going into 2025, right? So what are you expecting over the next 12 months, or is it just a case of wait and see what decisions come down?
Well, from a BAFA perspective, obviously we don't really know what the decision's going to be. Chad's not long in the role, taking over as CEO, and obviously he has to find his feet and figure out what's going on. I intend to be as supportive as I can during that process. We're in a funny position about restructuring things internally from a flag perspective within BAFA, as well as Chad coming in. And then, from a personal perspective for me, in terms of looking at what's going to happen and what's the point and purpose of Catalyst, I'm a huge believer that we just need to massively scale up the opportunity that people have. The greater the opportunity is, the more accessible it is, the more people will ultimately play flag. It's maybe just my personal view, but as far as I'm concerned, the National Flag Football League is the premier competition. It's not the competition that everybody gets involved in. It needs to be the top flight teams. And you can see, as I said before, like everything building, now it's, we need to properly establish its place, basically.
Yeah, and I suppose, but apart from the Manchester weather, which is out of your control, it all went very smoothly this weekend. But thank you for inviting us down, and let's look forward to next year and hope that goes well as well. But thank you very much for joining us, and we'll catch you again very soon.
No, thank you very much for coming. Really hope you can come down next year as well.
Brilliant, thank you.